okay, is Joel does not crouch walk constantly in the show. That in the game, he's constantly sneaking and crouch walking for stealth purposes. But he doesn't do that in the show. And they said, why? Why doesn't he do that in the show? And they said, well, in reality, a 53-year-old man could never just crouch walk everywhere. Because if he did, number one, he's 53. He can't do that. He doesn't have that level of capability because he's too old. And number two, he would have insanely huge calves. I'm serious. They said the reason that he can't crouch walk in the show is because Joel would end up getting insanely huge calves. So maybe someone should contact LTG about hints on how... No, that was a cheap hit. I'm sorry. That was a cheap hit. I shouldn't have said that. I couldn't resist, though. The bait was there. The joke was there. I had to say it. I didn't finish it. I only said half the joke. I only said half of it, all right? I pulled out before the joke was fully committed. I pulled back. All right. So now people are going to be very upset with me, including LTG, and I apologize. It was a really cheap shot. I'm sure he's taken a couple cheap shots at me over the years as well. I really didn't mean it. I didn't commit to it. I apologize wholeheartedly to LTG. I couldn't resist. That was such an easy joke to take. Okay? Anyway. No. The funny part about it is, like, I understand what they're saying, but that doesn't make sense. Like, if the whole point is this is supposed to be a television show, this situation is real. So, why take out the realism? Well, Joel couldn't just crouch walk constantly. He'd have giant calves. And, yeah, probably everyone would. Everyone would be way more physically adept. Everyone would end up being, ready to survive. You would not see many grossly obese people in an apocalypse like this. They'd all be dead. You understand? You're going to only people who are ready to spring at a moment's notice and avoid and fight for their survival. It would make sense that he would be doing that. Maybe the actor had issue with it. Maybe they tried it and he's like, oh, dude, I just can't do this constantly. You're going to kill my legs or whatever. I don't know. Personally, I have giant calves. I do. I have ginormous calves on my legs. Have you ever seen my calves? I don't know how much I've shown them. I'm not going to show you now because that's disgusting. I don't want you to look at my body. It's none of your business. But anyway, I have giant calves on my legs. And over the years, people who know me in real life have said, why do you have such giant calves? We don't understand how you got them. Your body isn't roided or whatever. Why do you have giant muscular calves? And the answer is actually quite interesting. It's because I walk on my toes. When I was growing up, somehow I just started walking on my toes and never stopped. So when I walk, a lot of the times I'm walking leaned towards my toes. And because of that, all the tendons in my legs and everything always are working out. And so I have incredibly roided calves. And it's funny, I'm very nimble on my feet. Even when I was fat, I'm pretty nimble. And I can move really fast on my feet because I have giant calves. Because I walk on my toes. So if anything, if there was an apocalypse where these, what are they called? Solenoids? I don't know what they're called. These creatures, these mutant mold creatures, right? If they were taking over the planet and I needed to crouch walk constantly in order to commit stealth, likely I could do it. But only my calves, because my other pieces of my leg are pretty shitty. Like actually right now, let me try something. If I were to crouch down, okay, I'm going to try this live. If I were to crouch down, okay, so I'm going to crouch walk. I can do it. I'm doing it. I'm crouch walking. I'm doing it pretty much no problem, the crouch walk, because my calves are strong. All right? So there you go. However, my problem would actually be my knees. I have weak knees. I always have. It all started back when cordyceps. Is that what they're called? They're not solenoids, they're cordyceps. They sound exactly the same. Anyway, back when I was growing up, I was raised a Roman Catholic, and so we went to church at least once a week. When I was in school, sometimes there'd be mass you went to when you were in school. And there's a part of the mass where you're expected to get down on your knees to pray on, what's it called? It's called genuflecting, but I can't remember what the bench is that you put your knees on. There's actually a name for it, okay? I can't remember what it's called. Does anyone remember the official name of the bench with the padding on it that you kneel on? No, the pew is what you sit on. The pew is the wood you sit on, and the genuflecting is what they call kneeling, but I can't remember what the actual bench portion is that you fold it down, and it has the padding, and you kneel on it. The kneeler? You called it the kneeler? It has a name. It has like an official name. Okay, yes, I went to Catholic school. Yes, I did. But anyway, when I was young and I started doing that, my knees always hurt when I did it. Seriously, like, it's just ridiculous how it was only me, only my knees hurt. Everything else was fine. It was fine sitting on the wooden pew. That was fine. It was just, for some reason, whenever I kneeled, my knees hurt a lot. And when I bend my legs, my knees tend to crack and pop and stuff. I've just always had really weak knees for some reason. I don't know why. And then when I was fat, when I was really fat, like 240 plus pounds, now I'm like, under 210. But back when I was really heavy, sometimes just simply getting out of the car, I would get out of the car and just put my legs down on the floor and go to get up out of my car, and my leg would go pop. I'm like, oh my God, excruciating pain in the knee, shooting up and down. This has happened quite a few times in my life. So I don't know why. I've just had bad knees my whole life. So even though I have these giant roided calves, I doubt that I could crouch walk in the world of The Last of Us, because my knees would probably give out. And I'd probably be like, crawling around on my hands and knees because my knees are busted. So I'm like slithering like a snake or salamander on his stomach, trying to get around the cordyceps. Anyway, why are we talking about this? I don't even know. Anyway, let's